mini tutorial. Today I'll show you how to create a monochrome galaxy with stars and golden moon phases. I'm using Canson watercolor paper, cold press, 300 grams, 140 pounds, but feel free to use any kind of watercolor paper you have at hand. I'm also using Prussian blue watercolor, titanium buff, or buff titanium, I'm actually not sure which way around, and some metallic gold watercolor. These are handmade watercolors by Aloha Watercolors, but again, please feel free to use whatever you have at hand. If you don't have a opaque white watercolor or golden shimmer watercolor, you can also use a white jelly roll pen or a golden metallic jelly roll pen. You'll need a pencil, 2 brushes. I'm using a number 8 round brush and a number 2, but whatever size you have at hand, as long as it's a pretty small one and a larger one, will work. A ruler. I also have a Helix circle maker, but this is also optional, and I'll show you a way to create the circles without this one. And some water. Oh, and one more thing, you can use masking tape to hold down your piece of paper and also to keep it from warping once you apply the water. Okay, so we'll get started with just putting down a layer of water. I'm just making a blob here and not filling the paper completely. Next, we'll add Prussian blue. And this is my favorite part, where you can just watch the paint disperse. Watercolor will dry lighter, which means that while you paint, it looks pretty dark. But once the paper is dry, it'll be a little lighter, so bear that in mind. And if you want to create a really dark galaxy, you might have to apply another layer. I'm going to put down a little more pigment in the corners, over here and here. Add a little more water in the center. And next, I'll let this dry completely. I don't recommend using a hairdryer in this particular case, just because there's so much water and you might blow out the water on the side, so just let it dry, air dry. In order to add the stars, I'm gonna use my number 2 round brush. The smaller the brush, the smaller the stars. Make sure you have a lot of pigment on your brush, and then you take the other brush and just hold it, and then you tap lightly with your brush until you're happy with how many stars you have on the paper. If you like to have larger stars, you can go in with a jelly roll pen and add a few more. Or of course you can go back in with your brush and paint in a few more. Okay, again, I will let this dry and I'll see you in a few minutes. So take your ruler and locate the center of your watercolor blob. Okay, I have about 10 centimeters here, I'd say. And then the center would be at 5 centimeters. So I leave a little pencil mark here. So if you have a Helix circle maker, you can just put this down here, place this mark in the center, and then just draw very lightly, draw a circle. Okay, if you don't have the circle maker, you can just use the cap of a pen and trace it. Okay, once we have that center circle down, you'll go back in with the ruler and then put down a faint mark every centimeter, 4 times on each side. Make sure they're only very light so you don't see them later shining through. Okay, next step. Go to the bottom of your circle and place a small mark every 1 centimeter. Okay, and now this way, when you go back in with your circle maker or your cap, you know exactly where to put the next moon phase, so make sure this mark is in the center, and then also you also align it with the mark on the bottom. Okay, the next moon phase is the half moon, so I'll just basically only draw a half circle and then move this over to the next center mark, align it with the mark here at the bottom, and mark in the next moon phase. If you have a metallic gold watercolor, you can continue with this, or if you don't have that, you can use a gold metallic jelly pen or even a white one for the moon phases. I'm a right-handed person, so I'll do these ones first, and then you can either turn the paper over or let this dry. If you're super smart, you just start on the other side and then go, but for some reason I just like to start in the center. For the last one, it's basically just one stroke with the brush, and then add a little bit here. And here's your finished piece. Thank you so much for watching, and if you like this tutorial, please subscribe.